today we're going to work through some exercises for your back that will really help your posture. So I'm sure that as we've all been working from home this year, hunched over computers, either on our sofas or not at ergonomically designed desks, we've probably all got a bit of backache and our spines have got a bit crooked. So there's some really simple things that we can do to try and move your spine around to release some of the pain that you might have. And we're also going to do some things to strengthen your shoulders and your upper back so that we can create a better posture and hopefully create some muscle memory. Okay, so first of all, we're just going to go for a small warm up. We're going to try and release some joints. This is Sifa, he likes to do Pilates with us. Eventually he'll get bored. So, lie down on your back, have your knees flexed, and we're just going to take a nice deep breath. Now this time as you inhale through your nose into the back and sides of your lungs like you're blowing up two big balloons. Exhale through pursed lips like you're blowing bubbles in a milkshake. Now this time inhale through your nose, draw up your pelvic floor about 30%, and as you exhale keep your pelvic floor connection, zip your ribs towards your hips. So your waist should have shortened and you should now feel like you're wearing a corset. That is your transverse abdominis muscle. We're going to keep that connection as much as we can throughout the class. So one more inhale. Good. So we're going to start off with some hip releases. Keep your pelvis super stable. And we're going to roll our leg out and slide it down. Roll our leg in and slide it back up. So keep your foot on the floor. Keep your pelvis super stable. Imagine that there is a glass of water underneath your belly button and so you cannot spill it. We're going to move to the other leg. So roll out and slide down. Roll in and slide up. Inhale to out and down. Exhale in and up. Your knees will knock together. We're going to move back to the other leg and change direction. So inhale in and slide down, exhale out and round. So you should feel like the bone in your leg is massaging your hip joint and the muscles around your leg should be releasing a little bit. One more on the other side. Keep your pelvis nice and still. Use your transverse abdominis. Last one. Good. Okay, so let's warm up our lumbar spine. So inhale, gently arch your back. Exhale, flatten your back on your mat. So inhale to arch and exhale to imprint. So the arch is a very gentle tip forward and your imprint is a gentle tip back. So we're trying to warm up our lumbar spine, but don't get your glutes involved. Just relax and tip your pelvis backwards and forwards. Now on your last one, I want you to find the midpoint of your imprint and your arch. So you should have a little cherry tomato or a pocket of air underneath your back. That's your neutral spine. So we're going to talk about neutral spine a lot today. Raise your arms above your head. So make sure your wrists are over your shoulders. Now what happens to your rib cage? If your rib cage popped out, then reconnect using your TVA. So if you have to, reset. And then raise your arms so that your wrists are above your shoulders. Now let your arms be heavy in your shoulders. So rather than reach for something, just feel the weight of your arms pressing into your shoulder sockets and you should become aware of your shoulder blades. So now what you're going to do is you're going to pretend you're holding a tank of piranhas and you're going to inhale to push your arms straight towards the ceiling. So you should feel like shoulder blades slide around your ribcage and open. Exhale to retract them back together. You can't go very far because you're on the floor. Now think about the tank of piranhas. So inhale, protract and exhale, retract. So don't spill that tank, we're keeping our hands very still, we're just lifting our shoulder blades around our ribcage so our arms extend. And we pull our shoulder blades together so our arms come down. One more. So this time find that middle point and that's your neutral shoulder blade position. So I want you to think about that a lot today. So as your arms are up, let's go for some arm circles. So inhale out and round, exhale back up and close. Inhale out and down, exhale close and up. One more. Now this time change your direction. So inhale down and out, exhale up and close. So keep your ribs connected, don't let them flare. So use your TVA to hold them down. Good, and we're going to lower our hands to the mat. So we're going to roll onto our side. We're going to do some spinal rotation. So this is the first thing to release your back. So think about how a baby moves. Don't lead with your shoulder, lead with your rib cage. So we're going to make crocodile hands at the front. We're going to inhale up. Exhale as you roll through your ribs. Let your armour be heavy behind you. Inhale, stretch your knees away from your armpits. Exhale, stretch more. Inhale up. Exhale, roll all the way down. We're going to go for 2 more. So inhale, arm up. Exhale, roll through your ribs. Inhale, stretch your arm away from your knees. Exhale, stretch further. Inhale, arm up. Lead with your ribs. Exhale all the way back down. Last one. Good. Come on to all fours. We're going to go through some cat stretches to start with. So make sure your shoulders are over your wrists and your knees are under your hips. If you're here or you're here, you can't find your neutral spine. So you're going to think about your TVA connection. Make sure you start in neutral, don't sink into your abs. So now we're going to go tail first. Inhale. Exhale, start to pull your tail underneath you. Start to push your lower back, middle back, upper back. Bring the head towards your tail. Inhale to stretch. Exhale, unravel tail first. Start to re-stack your spine into neutral alignment. This time head first. Inhale. Exhale, start moving through your head. Pull it underneath you. Push through your upper back, middle back, lower back. Tail in. Inhale, stretch. Exhale, unravel your head first. Start to bring yourself back into a neutral shoulder blade position. Find your neutral lumbar spine and back to the start. Last one, you're going to pretend that there's a flame underneath you. We're going to push your arm middle back first. So inhale. Exhale, start pulling your head and tail towards you. Really push through your middle back. Find as much space in your spine as you can. Inhale, stretch. Exhale, start to melt back through your ribs, back through your spine. Start to unravel your tail and head until you're back to neutral. Good. Come down to your stomach. Put one hand on top of the other. Put your head on top of your hand. Extend your legs behind you. Point your feet. Now roll your pubic bone down so it's pressing into that mat. So your belly lifts a little bit and set your TVA. Good. So your core is now set. Now this is only an upper and middle back exercise. As you inhale, you're going to come into a low hover. Your hands come with your head. And you stay. And exhale down. So inhale up. Use your upper and middle back muscles to lift. And exhale down. Don't go so high that it gets to your lumbar spine. Inhale up. And exhale down. Stretch your head away from your feet. Inhale up. Find your length. Exhale down. One more. Inhale up. And exhale down. Good. Push yourself back. Separate your knees. Sit on your feet. Keep some space between your ribs and your knees. Find your active shell stretch. Nice big inhale to stretch. Exhale, start to rebuild your spine till you come to straight. Good, we're going to do our spinal rotation on the other side. So make sure you're at the front of your mat so you've got some mat to roll onto. Bring your hands into your crocodile. Inhale, arm up. Exhale, roll through your ribs towards the back. Inhale, stretch. Exhale, roll back through your rib cage. And come back. So inhale, arm up. Exhale, roll through your ribs. Inhale, stretch. Exhale, stretch further. Knees away from armpit. Inhale, roll your rib cage around your spine. Exhale, arm all the way down. Last one. Inhale, arm up. Exhale, roll. Find that rotation in your spine. Inhale, stretch. Exhale, stretch further. Inhale, roll your ribs around your spine. Exhale, arm all the way down. Lovely. Okay, so we're going to start thinking about our spine and our positions that we create. So often, most of the time, we're like this. This creates kyphosis. And if you walk around and you find you get lower backache, some people call that museum back, it's lordosis because you've overextended your lumbar spine. So we're going to try and reverse some of that damage today with extension in our upper back and flexion in our lower back. So let's start by finding where our sit bones are and sitting up straight. So ideally your legs are together and you're sitting right on top of your sit bones and you're trying to reach your head to the ceiling. So pretend there's a giant, I like to call him George, who's pulling above you. So you're trying to float your vertebrae off of each other. If this is not comfortable, then crook your knees ever so slightly. If it's still not comfortable, find a sit pad that takes the pressure off your hip flexors. So this is work anyway, just to find that length in your spine. So you're asking your back to straighten you up and the muscles there to hold you. So I know that this is work already. Bring your arms out in front of you, keep your neutral shoulder blade position. So make sure you're not drifting forward, make sure you're not pulled your arms back. Stay nice and straight. So now what we're going to do is we're going to hold them there and we're just going to curl our pelvis underneath us and then sit back up. So inhale, scoop your abdominals. Exhale, lift yourself back up. So every time you lift back up, nothing in your back is moving, your shoulders are absolutely still, you're just curling your pelvis underneath you. Okay, so we're going to extend this. So you're going to curl your pelvis underneath you and you're going to roll back. So you come into a C curve. And now you're going to exhale and you're going to pull yourself back up into the straight line. So inhale, roll off your sit bones, roll down. Exhale, scoop your abdominals to pull yourself back up and straighten your spine. One more. Good. Now put your hands on your shoulders. You're going to inhale, and as you exhale, you're going to rotate to the side. And inhale back to the top, screw your head into the ceiling like it's a light bulb. And go the other way. Exhale, and inhale. So imagine your spine is a column and your rib is a cage. You're twisting that cage around your column, so nothing in your body moves except your rib cage. You should find an oblique stretch on one side and an oblique contraction on the other. We're going to go for one more each side. Okay, bring your arms down. If you prefer to sit cross-legged, you can move to cross-legged. We're going to do one more. So you'll sit up super, super tall. You're going to stretch your head to the ceiling. And we're going to go for a back extension. So first of all, just raise your hands to the ceiling. So inhale up. And exhale down. Now the key here is not to let your ribs pop open. So as you lift your arms, think about it coming from your shoulders. Keep your ribs tucked in. One more. Good. So now what we're going to do is we're going to extend through our upper thoracic spine. So we're going to inhale, arm up, and we're going to keep going through the middle of our back. And exhale down. So I'm finding this difficult cross-legged. I'm going to straighten my legs back out again. Find your neutral shoulder position. Keep your shoulders down away from your ears. So inhale up. Extend through your upper back. And exhale down. One more. Inhale, lift. Extend through your thoracic, don't arch the lower back. Exhale back down. And bring your hands back down. Hopefully you should feel nice and warm and a little bit stretched out. So now we're going to extend our pelvic rolls with a half roll back. So your feet are going to be on the floor. You're going to keep your feet on the floor. I want you to start sitting up. If you need to, you can hang on to the back of your thighs, but let's try and use our abs to do the work. So we're going to have our hands in front of us. Inhale, roll down only as far as you can keep your feet on the floor. So you're scooping your abdominals. As you exhale, keep scooping your abdominals to draw you back up and restack your spine. So find your C curve, really create some flexion in your lumbar spine. Exhale, pull your abdominals to pull you up and rebuild. One more. Good. And bring your arms down. So we're going to move to a mermaid stretch. We never come into sideways stretch unless we're doing old 80s videos, but most of us don't have VHS anymore.
So we're going to do two things. The first one will be slightly freer, and the second one we're going to try and challenge the stretch of our shoulders. So this arm will just be down here, it's going to bend with you. So first of all, find your length. Sit up super tall, pretend your head is leading your spine. Reach for that ceiling with your right hand. Now, as you exhale, start to go all the way over. Inhale, stretch. Exhale, close your ribs on one side as you draw yourself back to a straight line, bring your arm down. So we're going to go again. Inhale, arm up. Reach for that ceiling. Exhale, start to stretch through your ribs. Inhale to stretch it more. Exhale, close your ribs, bring your arm back down. So we're going to go for one more. Try not to droop your head forward, try and lead it with your side and come down. So we're going to change our feet around. So you should have felt a really good stretch through here. It creates that movement in our spine that we lose because we sit up too straight and too tall and we don't really dance so much anymore. So inhale, arm up. Exhale, start to lean all the way over. Use your head. I'm tighter on this side, you can see that. Inhale, stretch. Exhale, close your rib cage. Bring your arm back down. And again. So inhale, arm up. Reach for that ceiling, reach your head and your hand. Exhale, over. Inhale, stretch. Exhale to come back close. One more. So reach for the ceiling with your head and your hand. Exhale, over. Inhale, stretch. Exhale, close your rib cage on your left side and bring your arm down. So now we're going to stay in this position. If you're not comfortable with your arms in this position, because sometimes it can be, your legs in this position, it can be challenging for your hips, and cross your legs. So now you're going to reach your left arm behind your head. You're going to bring your right hand behind and see if you can touch your fingers. If you can't, don't worry, just see how much you can stay on your head. If you can, try and make a small grip with your fingers. And now we're just going to lean over and we're going to give ourselves a little tug. So you should feel a big stretch down your left oblique side. And come back to centre. One more. And let your arms go. We're going to switch our legs back around and do the stretch on the other side. So right arm down, palm facing down. Bring your left arm behind you, see if you can grip your fingers. So now inhale, draw your ribs open, pull your arms behind you. Exhale, come back, and we're going to go one more. And we're going to let go. Just like we did before, the key here is to keep the work in your upper and middle back. We're going to protect our lumbar spine by keeping our glutes engaged and by keeping our TVAs switched on. So all of this work is quite a low hover, which means it's actually going to be quite a lot of hard work. So the temptation will be to lift higher into your lower back. Don't, because you can hurt yourself. But as muscles get weak when we lean over a desk all day, so that's what we're trying to build. So you're going to close your legs together, point your feet, roll your sit bones down so your pubic bone is in the mat, and your sit bones are looking at your feet. You're already trying to lengthen your head away from your feet to start with. We're going to keep our fingertips so that you can just see them in your peripheral vision. And your head is down so that your cervical spine follows your thoracic spine and your head is in neutral. So first of all, we're not going to press against our mat. We're just going to slide our hands gently forward. Inhale to come up into a low hover. And exhale down. So imagine little bees living underneath your belly button. Keep your TVA switched on. Inhale up. And exhale down. So don't lift your head. The reason your head is lifting is because your back is lifting. Inhale up. Stretch your head away from your feet. And exhale down. Okay. So this time, we're going to extend our arms. And I want you to inhale up
And lift your arms too. Now we're going to stay. So you slide your shoulder blades down into your back pocket. So your hands are reaching away from you, which is enough just to hold. Now if you can, lift one arm and lower. So turn your palms to face inwards. Lift one arm, you won't go very far, and lower. One more. Stay up. The extension is a challenge. Now bring your hands down, bring your head and shoulders down. Change the position of your arms so that they're now reaching towards your toes. And I do mean reaching towards your toes. So if your shoulders are up, try and slide them down. Lengthen your head away from your feet. Check your TVA connection. So we're going to inhale up and we're going to stretch our fingers towards our toes. And exhale down. Inhale up. Stretch your fingers towards your toes. Inhale down. Inhale up. Stretch. Exhale down. Now this time we're going to stretch and stay up. Inhale. Exhale, lift your arms behind you. And exhale down. So inhale, lift. Stretch. Exhale down. Keep this out of your lower back. We're just using your upper back. Keep your shoulders down away from your ears. So pull your fingertips towards your toes even though you're lifting them to the ceiling and come down. Okay, so now we're going to change our palms so that our palms are facing upwards. We're going to separate our feet just to give our pelvis a slightly different position. So roll your sit bones down, set your TVAs, make sure your nose is hovering off the mat. Inhale up. Stretch. Now lift both hands and down. Stay up in your extension. We're just lifting our palms towards that ceiling. So we're asking our posterior deltoids to do a lot of work here. Our erector spine are pulling our middle and upper back upwards. Stretch your head away from your feet. You're going to give me one more. And lower yourself back down. Let's give yourself a break. So push yourself up, separate your knees, come into your shell stretch. Exhale, restack your spine. And roll your shoulders back and down. So let's get you off of your extension for a minute and we're going to go back to our lumbar spine. So people say to me on the reformer that they love a short spine because it's such a treat, but you can't do it on the mat. I disagree. So we're going to go with a modified roll up really. So first things first, you're going to make sure that your core is set. Once you set your TVA, inhale, bring one leg into tabletop. Exhale, bring the other leg into tabletop. Make sure your connection is still there. Extend your legs onto the diagonal. Now if you have a tendency to cheat, turn your palms over to face the ceiling. So use your abdominals to scoop you off of your mat and bring your feet over your head. So it's a roll over. Then you're going to bring your feet not too far, turn them into Pilates V. So you're not in a jackknife, you're just going to bring your knees down to your shoulders. So now you can start to roll through your spine, bone by bone, in your little mushroom ball. So your other choice is as you roll over and bring your legs back up, is when you're in your ball, rather than keeping your legs in your little ball, you can start to extend your legs for a hamstring stretch. But your objective today is really to stretch your back. So we're going to go for one more. So I'm going to keep myself in my little mushroom. So legs into tabletop, extend onto 45. Inhale, peel yourself with your abdominals off of your mat to roll over. Bring your legs back to 45. Turn your ankles to Pilates feet. Separate your knees as you come down. Expose your spine. Roll down through your spine to get that lovely massage. So we're going to turn this into something a little bit more fun and we're going to stick with the ball theme. So you're going to come up and we're going to roll like a ball. I really like this exercise, I think it's a lot of fun.
When you're rolling, if you find that you're not rolling straight down your mat and you end up rolling one way or another, it's because one leg and one side of you is stronger. So you're pulling on that side, which pulls you crooked. So try and think about your TVA connection. Try and use your body evenly. So I'll show you from the front the position you will end up in. I'll show you how you will get into it. So your knees will be separated. You'll be holding your feet together and your ankles on the outside. So this is your start and end position. To get into that position, sit up lovely and tall. Your knees are apart at shoulder distance. You're going to inhale, roll off with your sit bones. So you've already created flexion in your lumbar spine. You're going to pick up one ankle. So you're balancing on your sit bones, and then you're going to pick up the other ankle. So again, the trick is not to flick your feet. So if you have a tendency to cheat yourself, put a cushion or a yoga block or a ball or whatever you have under your knees, even if it's the cat, so you can't move. So find your balance. You're going to balance on your sit bones. You're only going to go back as far as your shoulder blades. So you stay in your little ball, your head is slightly forward. Inhale back and exhale forward. So as you inhale, you exhale to scoop your abs and pull you back over. Only so your shoulder blades protect the back of your neck. One more. Maintain your balance. Straighten up and put your feet down. I think that exercise is quite good fun. So we're going to do a spine stretch. So once again, we're going to be sitting right on top of our sit bones. Have your feet about shoulder distance apart, so just a little bit less than the mat, and flex them gently towards your face. If this is very uncomfortable, then find a little block or a cushion to sit on. Ideally, we're looking for a hamstring stretch as we go. So find your length. George's back is pulling you towards the ceiling. So try and float your vertebrae off of each other so you get taller. Bring your hands in front of you, palms facing downwards. Now, you're going to inhale and stretch your spine forward, pull over your legs. Your arms go forward, find your hamstring stretch and round your back. Inhale, restack. Exhale, restack your spine. Bone by bone by bone. Your shoulder blades are in neutral, and you come back to your neutral spine. And we're going to go again. So inhale, stretch. Pull your head forward, pull your arms forward, over your legs, stretch your hamstrings. Exhale, start to pull back bone by bone, restacking until your head is on top of your shoulders. One more. Good. So now let's find some balance challenge. Matt Zombie. We're going to come back into our quadruped. So the one thing about this position is that people either sink into their shoulder blades. So remember we talked about neutral shoulder blades position. So find where that neutral is for you. So if you pretend that you're doming out of them and find that middle, you're going to take some pressure off your wrists as well. And also you must make sure that your knees are under your hips, because if they're too far forward or backwards, then you're not going to be able to find your neutral spine. So if you sink into your abdominals like this is what causes lordosis. We want to use our abs to bring our spine back into neutral. So now, we're just going to raise our right arm. We're not going to move our back at all. And bring it down. Now your left leg. And bring it down. So as you lift your legs and arms, try not to tip. So left arm. So just straight out in front of you. Don't lean to the right. Exhale down. Now your right leg. More tipping is created because it's a heavier lever. Straight from the back. Extend behind you. And then down. So now we're going to do contralateral arms and legs. So right arm, left leg. So think about your neutral spine. Use your abs to support yourself. Stay in your neutral shoulder blade position. Your head is following the line of your spine. So up and stretch. Hold it. So use your abdominals to support your spine. Stretch your arm away from your feet. And come back down. Other sides. So left arm, right leg. Up and hold it. And we're going to come back down. I'm going to move forward a fraction because I'm keeping my bookshelf. Okay. So this time we're going to start to keep our balance, but we're also going to roll into flexion. So we're going to round our backs through. So we're going to create a wave in our spine. So as we lift, we're then going to start to round our back. We're going to draw our nose to our knee, and then we're going to straighten back to neutral and hold. And then you're going to come back down. Change sides, so make sure you're still balanced and you're still square. Up. Now round your back, draw your knee underneath you, nose to knee, arm comes in. Whoops, I've lost my balance. And then extend. And bring yourself back down. So one more each side, try not to shift your weight. Just as I did, I know. Round your back, draw yourself underneath. Oh, I really have lost my balance. And then extend. Oh, that's rubbish, isn't it? See, none of us are perfect. And then bring yourself back down, one more. So round your back, knee to nose, extend. And we're going to come back down. Good. So now we're going to come back to our stomach. Now, we're going to do a modified swan. So you're going to rotate your legs out to 45 degrees. You're going to have your hands so that you can see your fingertips are in line with your eyes. But this is really an abdominal stretch. You're going to reach almost to your lumbar spine, but not quite. So I want you to think about lifting your head away from your feet as much as you can. It's a gentle press with your hands to support you. So, set your core first. Roll your pubic bone down to look at the mat, and so you're stretching your feet away from you already. They're as wide as the mat. So now we're going to gently lift up, lifting with your shoulders. Your head's going to come with you, and you've got a gentle arm support. Stretch through your abdominals, and then your thoracic. And as you exhale, start to lower back down. And we're going to go again. So inhale. Lead with your shoulders. Keep pulling your shoulders down away from you. Tuck your shoulder blades in your pockets. Lift into your thoracic extension. And exhale down. So we're going to do one more. Inhale. Pull your shoulders down. Pull your shoulder blades into your pockets. Stretch your abdominals. Stretch to your thoracic. And exhale. Come back down. Lovely. Push yourself back up into a shell stretch. Nice deep breath. Roll back up through your spine and give your shoulders a roll back and down so that you've got your neutral position. So we've done a little bit of spine twist, we've done a bit of spine stretch, we've rolled like a ball. So now we just want to do a little bit more for your lumbar spine so that we complete the process. So now we're going to do a full roll down, but we're going to keep scooping our abdominals. So again, if you can't keep your feet on the floor without holding your legs, then just hold behind your thighs, but you should do so. Concentrate on your back. So I want you to really think about your imprint. So you start off with your hands down, your shoulders down, roll them back and down, sit up nice and tall. Start to roll into your C curve. Keep rolling down so you roll through your imprint. And now we're going to reverse that process. So start to inhale, lift your shoulders, roll through your abdominals, scoop your abs, stay in your C curve and rebuild. So it's a lot of abdominal work as well, but it's that curve in your spine. So imprint through your lower back, land your thoracic and then your head. And then inhale. Head and shoulders first, don't lead with your head, lead with your shoulders. Start pulling through your abdominals. And come back up. So we're going to do one more. So if you can't do it like this, just hold gently onto your thighs.
And then inhale. Start to pull through your abdominals, hold onto the back of your face ever so gently until you can come back up. Good. Okay. So now, to finish off, we're just going to have a roll down, or I should say, you're going to have a roll down, because if I stand up, my head gets cut off. So please stand up. Relax your knees. Make yourself light and droopy like a raggy doll. Take a nice big inhale. And as you exhale, tuck your chin. Start to roll down through your spine. Let your head and arms be really heavy. Move through your upper back, middle back, lower back. And once you're at the bottom, take a nice deep breath. As you exhale, start to push through your pelvis, up through your lower back, middle back, upper back, head last. Roll your shoulders back and down. So now just think about every time you're walking, shoulders down, head tall, and we'll help your posture go from there. Thanks for watching. You can find more at apollopilates.com. If you're in London, you can come and have lessons with me. If not, I'll see you next time.